would think they would fix it by now with the HomePod Gen 2, but they did not. Hi, it's Mindy and welcome back to the channel. I have the HomePod 2 with me. My excitement. There have been some mixed reviews about this, so let's get into its latest, greatest features, what I love, what I hate. Yes, as an Apple fan, I do have my complaints as well, and then you can decide if this is a good fit for you. So I come from the OG HomePod and I've been using this Gen 2 for about 2 weeks now, and I use it primarily as a smart speaker and a home hub. I set it such that when I walk into a room, I can ask Siri to do things like play music in the background, turn on my light. It's basically my PA, my personal assistant. It was really easy to set up the HomePod 2. Literally 2 steps, put my phone near it, scan, and done. Now all of this is very familiar. I can do all of this on the OG HomePod as well. That's not where the similarities end. They look alike, basically twins. All except for the recessed touch display, which in my opinion looks much better, and the whole display actually lights up when you say Siri. This is also a new color called Midnight. It's a darker shade than the OG HomePod. It also comes in white if that's what you're into, but like what my mother says, white only looks good when it's new. Over time, if you're not careful, it gets dirty and you'll get off-white. The size of the HomePod hasn't changed either. It's still this tall, almost as tall as my little mug. And don't be fooled by the size because it's pretty heavy. I like that it fits in my space, design-wise, very minimal, very modern. This also comes with AirPlay, which means that if your TV has AirPlay functions, you can use this as a speaker for your home theater setup. And because this has the 4-inch high excursion woofer, which gives you pretty good bass compared to the built-in speakers inside your TV. I tested this with my TV, no lag, no latency. And if you put 2 of these together, you get a stereo speaker setup. And if you see the HomePod video from This Is Tech Today, the stereo sound from 2 HomePods sound incredible. We won't be doing that test today, but I'll link the video below. Next, audio quality, and that is probably the biggest reason why I got the OG HomePod in the first place, because this was advertised and I tested it to have one of the best audio quality amongst all the other smart speakers 5 years ago. I remember being blown away when I first asked Siri to play me some J-Cho on this OG HomePod. It just sounded that good. And this HomePod Gen 2 does not disappoint. For such a small speaker, it gets really loud and the bass is very powerful. And even though there are fewer mics in this, it's still very sensitive. At 100% volume, it could still hear me when I call out Siri. So of course, I had to do some sound comparison between this and the OG HomePod. After many rounds of listening, there is a little bit of difference in terms of sound. This sounds clearer, so if you like vocals like Lana Del Rey, you will like the Gen 2 better. But the bass in the OG, I feel, is still more powerful than Gen 2, although this does not disappoint. HomePod 2 also can get very loud, just like the OG, but even at 100% volume, this does not peak, which I find is sometimes a problem for the OG HomePod. But disclaimer, I'm in no way at all an audiophile, but I have listened to a lot of speakers because you know those stores where they let you test out headphones and speakers for free? I go to that. My point is, I think for most average users, it's really hard to tell the difference between the new HomePod and the OG HomePod in terms of sound differences. I would really have to blindfold you and make you listen to the songs a couple of times before you can hear the difference between this and this, because that's what I did. If you're looking for the speaker with the best audio quality, the HomePod 2 may not be the best one out there, but the HomePod 2 is not just a speaker, right? It is a smart speaker. And most of the time, I'm using this to play background music, and if I really wanted to listen to music, I would use my headphones. However, it's not all sunshine and rainbows with the HomePod 2. I do have 3 main complaints about this. First, yes, it's still true for Spotify users, you cannot directly ask the HomePod 2 to play music. Play music on Spotify.
The app hasn't added support for that with Siri.
You can only do it through your phone, which basically defeats the purpose of a smart speaker if you ask me. What works really well with the HomePod is Apple Music, podcasts, Find My, basically this entire list. And I actually do ask Siri to find my phone pretty often. Like, I don't know where I place my phone right now, so I would say, Siri, where is my iPhone?
One moment. Looking for your iPhone 14 Pro Max. It's nearby. Pinning your iPhone 14 Pro Max now.
Oh, surprise! It's just right in front of me! And there you go, I found it. What this basically means is the HomePod is great for people who are already in the Apple ecosystem. Second, Siri is sometimes very dumb. So much so that when I gave my parents the HomePod mini, they gave it back to me like 1 or 2 months later and said, no thank you. The problem with it is that you really have to enunciate for Siri to understand you. Sometimes when I say turn on AC, it thinks I'm saying play easy. I don't even know a song easy, and now I do. I really wish that Siri was smarter and could understand different English accents, because we do have different accents. We are from different parts of the world. Other common problems are like,
Who is this speaking? I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
and that is frustrating because then you have to check your iPhone, do some reset, troubleshooting, and when that happens enough, it's pretty understandable why my parents gave up on the HomePod mini and returned it to me. And third, you see this thing that the HomePod is placed on? Yeah, this is a coaster, and I've been using this since the OG HomePod because there have been complaints that if you put the HomePod directly on wooden tables, it will leave a white ring mark there. And you would think they would fix it by now with the HomePod Gen 2, but they did not. You still get the same problem with Gen 2. So luckily, I already have a coaster prepared for this. But I guess if you really want to push for it, you can say that the coaster is great for preventing audio vibrations on your desk, great for acoustics. Apple is weird. But I have to be fair, the HomePod 2 has not given me this problem.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
Over the past 2 weeks that I've been using it. So yeah, Apple is learning, but Siri is still pretty dumb if you compare to the other AIs out there like Alexa, Google, ChatGPT. That aside, this new HomePod is also a Meta Thread Hub, which is awesome because that is the new smart home standard. And this means you can connect this with way more smart home accessories, which is great if you're looking to build up your smart home. This makes your home very future-proof. The HomePod 2 also comes with an ultra-wideband chip, which makes the handoff feature way faster than the OG HomePod. So if you're playing music on your phone and you want to transfer it to the HomePod, just go near it and you'll instantly feel a vibration and the music is transferred to your HomePod. It's so much faster. I love it. So yeah, this is the HomePod 2. It's $50 less than the OG, but they also reduced the number of tweeters, the mics, and downgraded it to Wi-Fi 4.0. However, audio quality is still pretty comparable to the OG HomePod, and I like it. There isn't any connectivity issues so far, but that could be because I have pretty good internet speeds here. It also has a built-in temperature and humidity sensor for those of you who want it, but it's not the most accurate. I compared it with my Broadlink sensors and it's around there. But the best thing about this, which is like my recent favorite thing, is that this listens out for smoke and carbon monoxide alarms and it will notify you on all of your Apple devices, and then you can actually check in at home to make sure that everyone's okay. Fires are very real and it can get so scary if you're not at home. And even if you have a camera, you may not be notified when there's a fire going on. So it's nice that the HomePod actually listens out for those alarms and tells you about it, and then you can check in. This was recently released in an update, so it's actually really exciting. So yeah, I do think that the HomePod 2 is a perfect speaker for certain people. Like if you want a smart speaker that is easy to use, easy setup, that has not that much troubleshooting, that is your personal assistant, and you're already in the Apple ecosystem, I would say the HomePod 2 is pretty good. I got the OG HomePod because I cared about sound and I do use a lot of Apple devices. So yeah, on this note, I don't think I will be upgrading to HomePod 2 just yet because the OG still does everything pretty well. It sounds great. It still gets updated and they are pretty similar except for a few smart features and a bit of design changes. But if this goes on sale, I might look at it again. Anyway, if this HomePod 2 is out of your budget, there is still the HomePod Mini, which does pretty much the same everything that this does, except it's way tinier. Look at this. It's like shorter and tinier than my iPhone. And the minis also get pretty loud, but in terms of sound audio quality, this one. Smart speakers are becoming more and more popular. It's becoming a thing. I was invited to a few housewarming parties and everyone owns them. But not a lot of people have the HomePods, and that's because it was only recently made available for sale in Singapore. So yeah, let me know which is your favorite smart speakers, which would you actually use for your house. Or if you have any questions about these, I have used the OG HomePod for about 5 years, so I can help you there. But yeah, if you enjoyed this, like and subscribe. It really helps the channel, so thank you very much. I love you. I hope you're having a great day. Take care, stay minty and cherry. Goodbye!